Hi Red Group, I thought I'd read you a different story today. It's not a book that I've read you at playgroup, but it's a book I absolutely love, and it takes place in one of my most favourite cities in the whole world, which is London, which is in England. And I thought I'd share it with you because I love the pictures and it's all about hats, and I think hats are kind of amazing and wonderful. So here we are. It's called Clara Button and the Magical Hat Day. Clara Button sat on the living room floor, choosing buttons to sew onto the hats and clothes she made for her dolls and her toy animals. Suddenly, her big brother Ollie burst into the room on his skateboard and the buttons went flying. "Look what you've done!" yelled Clara. "Who cares?" said Ollie. "Buttons are so boring." He grabbed an old hat covered with daisies and pulled it on top of his baseball cap. He made a silly face. "That's Granny Elsie's hat," cried Clara. "Be careful!" But it was too late. Mum ran into the room. "Oliver, you've torn Granny Elsie's hat. What a very naughty thing to do," she scolded. Granny Elsie had died long before Clara and Ollie were born. She'd been a milliner, which is someone who makes beautiful hats. Clara knew she would have loved Granny Elsie because she liked making hats too. Until now, she had always worn her granny's hat when she made them. But now the special hat was broken. And this is Clara with all her toys with different hats that she's made them. I love that picture. The next day, to cheer Clara up, her mum asked if she'd like to choose a special day out. Perhaps Clara might like to go swimming or to the cinema. But Clara had other ideas. "I would like a magical hat day, please," she said. Mum was not expecting this, and so racked her brains as to where they might go. Eventually she said, "I know, we'll go to the Victoria and Albert Museum. It's full of wonderful things, including lots of hats." Clara clapped her hands in delight. "That'll be so boring," grumbled Ollie. Before they left the house, Clara tucked Granny Elsie's hat into her backpack. "If the museum is full of hats," she thought, "maybe I'll find a milliner there who can mend it." On the bus to the museum, Mum pointed out famous shops. You've got Liberty, Harvey Nichols, Harrods, which has quite a nice toy department, Selfridges and Fortnum & Mason's. Ollie pretended to sleep, and Clara could only see hats everywhere. I'm going to let you have a look at that page and see what hats you can find. Clara thought the museum looked like a palace. It was full of amazing and beautiful things. She saw imposing statues, glittering jewels, silver and gold goblets, and above her head, the strangest, sparkliest sculpture she had ever seen. It had a label that read, "Chandelier." And this is it here. And it really is those colours, and it's all made of glass. It's absolutely beautiful in the Victoria and Albert Museum. Ollie yawned. He acted as if he was having a really boring day. He even pretended not to see the tiger attacking a wooden soldier and the sharp, curving swords that brave warriors would have used in battle. At last, Mum, Ollie and Clara arrived in the fashion gallery. Clara looked around at all the gorgeous clothes in the large glass cases. She imagined herself as a model, strutting down a catwalk, a princess dancing at a ball, and an elegant lady wearing a gown covered in golden jewels. Ollie yawned again. "Okay, Ollie," said Mum. "Now, let's find something you'll like. Come along, Clara." But Clara didn't hear her. All she could see was a beautiful hat decorated with dancing shoes. It was being pulled along on a trolley, and she decided to follow it. Maybe it would lead her to a milliner. There it is, the beautiful hat. Clara followed the trolley through a door into another room and found herself in a huge cupboard brimming with hats. Some looked like baskets, others like bunches of flowers or presents tied up with ribbon. One hat had a green bird perched on top of it with beady eyes that stared straight at Clara. Grown-ups used to wear some really strange hats, thought Clara. "Hello," said a voice. Clara turned round and saw a lady with long curly red hair. "Hello, my name's Clara," said Clara, "and I'm looking for a milliner." "A milliner?" asked the lady, surprised. "Yes," said Clara. The lady smiled and said, "My name is Miranda, and I think we should find your parents. I'll call the security staff." While they waited, Miranda explained to Clara that she was a fashion curator and that she looked after the many hats in the museum's collection. Very carefully, as if picking up a sleeping kitten, she took down a hat that looked like a rock covered with sea creatures. Clara laughed. "Granny Elsie would never have worn a hat like that," she said. The door opened and a man walked in. "Are you a milliner?" asked Clara. "Not exactly," the man said. "I'm Edmund. I'm a sort of hat doctor. Who are you?" Clara introduced herself, then took Granny Elsie's hat out of her bag. "Look what my brother did. He ruined Granny Elsie's hat," she said. The hat doctor looked at Clara and then at the hat. He smiled. "I can make it better, and you can help me," he said. The next time the door opened, it was Clara's mum, Ollie, a man wearing a blue uniform. Clara sighed loudly. Her adventure was over. "Clara," said Mum, "what have you been up to? And why is Granny's hat here?" "We're mending it," said Clara, and she handed the hat doctor a piece of thread. Soon the hat was mended. Mum smiled and thanked Miranda, Edmund and the security man at least 7 times for being so kind. "Now, what do you say, Clara?" she asked. "Goodbye," said Clara, "and thank you." Mum led Ollie and Clara to the museum cafe, where they drank hot chocolate and ate delicious cake. Now, just you wait and see this cafe. It really is like this. It's so beautiful. Yeah. And see if in that picture you can find Clara and her mum and Ollie drinking hot chocolate and eating cake. Yeah. That night, Clara dreamt she was flying through a galaxy of hats as she lay on the brim of Granny Elsie's newly mended hat. Meanwhile, in the next room, Ollie was having a very different dream. And then I thought what we would do is we would go back to this page, and I'll leave you with it and you can see what hats you can find. So this is the magical hat cupboard that Clara ends up in, and she finds some hats that look like baskets, others that look like bunches of flowers or presents tied up with ribbon, and she finds one that has a green bird perched on it with beady eyes that stared straight at her. I'll leave you with that picture, so see if you can find some that look like baskets, bunches of flowers, presents tied up with ribbon, and maybe one with a green bird on it with beady eyes staring at Clara. So I'll let you have a look at that. I hope you enjoyed the book and the beautiful pictures, and maybe one day you'll find more books about the Victoria Albert Museum, and you'll know that this was the book that introduced you to it. It is a really special place. See you again soon. Bye-bye.